Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most transformative and, let's be honest, most debated technologies of our time, artificial intelligence.
This whole idea isn't new at all. The quest to create artificial life, it's an ancient one, something you'll find woven into our oldest myths and stories. We're talking mechanical guardians in ancient Greece and even animated statues back in Egyptian temples.
But here's the thing. That ancient dream is becoming our reality, and it's happening fast. And that forces us to ask some of the biggest questions we've ever faced. Are we simply making ourselves better, smarter, and more capable? Or are we building our own replacements?
Okay, so let's get into it. To really understand what's happening now, we have to look back at the deep historical roots of this idea. Because, understanding where we've come from is absolutely crucial to figuring out where we're going.
Way before the first computer was ever a thing, we had stories like Frankenstein. This wasn't just about the science. It was exploring that profound human ambition and the potential danger of creating intelligence. This was never just a technical question. It's always been a human one, about creation, about responsibility, and about the very nature of life itself. And just look at this timeline. It shows you just how long we've been on this quest. You've got Greek myths with Talos, a literal giant made of bronze guarding an entire island. Then you fast forward to the Islamic Golden Age, and you've got Al-Jazari building actual programmable robots, like a robot band. By the early 1900s, we had the very first automated chess machine. So, see, the dream of artificial beings, it's not some new fad. It's a thread that runs through our entire history.
So, how did we get from a mechanical chess player to the AI that we all know today? Well, the journey was a real roller coaster, full of these incredible breakthroughs and some really crushing disappointments.
Yeah, the modern history of AI has basically been this cycle of hype and, well, disillusionment. The term itself was officially coined back in 1956 with all this incredible optimism. But reality hit hard in the 70s, and that led to the first AI winter, when all the funding just dried up. The 80s saw a little comeback with something called expert systems, but they turned out to be too limited, which triggered a second winter. It really wasn't until deep learning came along in the 2010s that the entire landscape truly changed for good. Right, so what was it about the 2010s? Why is this time different? It really boils down to two key factors that finally unlocked the insane potential we're seeing today. First, sheer, almost unimaginable scale. Models like GPT-3 were built with 175 billion parameters. Okay, think of a parameter as like a tiny little knob that the AI can turn and tune as it learns. So with 175 billion of those knobs, it can learn incredibly complex patterns from pretty much the entire internet. All of it powered by this massive leap in computing power.
And all that scale, it let us finally crack a problem that had stumped researchers for decades, Moravec's paradox. It's this strange reality that for computers, really hard things like advanced math were a piece of cake, but simple things, like just recognizing a cat in a photo, were almost impossible. Deep learning, which uses these layered networks that work a little bit like the human brain, was the key. With enough data and enough computing power, these networks finally learned to see and hear the world, overcoming that paradox and pretty much igniting the AI explosion we're living through right now.
Okay, so this recent explosive progress has kicked off this intense global debate about our future with AI. It's basically split experts into two camps, the cautious optimists and, well, the profound pessimists. The central question, the one everyone is asking, is this. When all is said and done, will AI's impact on humanity be a net positive or a net negative? And let me tell you, experts are deeply divided, with really compelling arguments on both sides. So on one hand, you have experts like James Hendler, who see this incredible potential for good. They see AI as this powerful tool that will augment our own abilities, helping us solve some of our biggest challenges in medicine, climate science, you name it.
But then, on the other hand, you have experts like Amy Webb who are sounding the alarm. They're predicting widespread job displacement and the kind of societal unrest we saw during the Industrial Revolution, but happening way faster and on a much, much bigger scale.
So what it really comes down to is this. We're staring down a future with two completely competing visions. In one, AI is a partner, augmenting our human potential. But in the other, our own agency is eroded. Our skills start to fade, and our choices are quietly shaped by algorithms we don't even control. And if we dig a little deeper, the experts are really focusing on four huge challenges. First, there's the loss of control to these mysterious black box systems. Second, the massive economic disruption from automation. Third is algorithmic bias.
That's where AI is trained on flawed data and just learns to copy our own societal prejudices. And finally, there's the terrifying potential for misuse, everything from autonomous weapons to mass surveillance.
All right, let's move into the final part of our explainer, because this technology, it forces us to zoom out and ask some really deep philosophical questions about what intelligence, creativity, and even consciousness itself actually are.
You see, for some researchers, the endgame isn't just to build a useful tool. The core goal is to create what's called strong AI, a machine that is genuinely conscious, one that truly understands. We're not talking about just simulating intelligence here. We're talking about actually creating it.
And that ambition just raises these profound questions, right? Like, can a machine ever be genuinely creative? Can it produce something truly new? Or is it just an incredibly sophisticated mimic, just remixing the giant library of human creativity it was trained on?
The whole debate really breaks down like this. Some people argue that creativity is just complex pattern matching and recombination, which, hey, AI is amazing at. But others insist that true creativity requires that uniquely human spark. You know, the consciousness, the emotion, the lived experiences that give art its meaning.
Ultimately, as the philosopher John Hegel put it, the whole debate really hinges on whether we see AI as just a very advanced calculator or as a potential mind. And the answer to that question is going to shape not just the technology we build, but how we understand ourselves.
Which leaves us with the final lingering question. From that bronze giant Talos all the way to the neural networks of today, our long quest to create intelligence has brought us to this exact moment. And as we stand here, on this precipice, we have to ask ourselves, what exactly are we creating? Is it a tool, a partner, or our successor? And what does its arrival truly mean for the future of humanity?